Welcome back to Nerd Thug Radio. I'm Joey Savage.
Corey DLG.
I'm the intern.
That's Bmac.
Bmac.
Yeah, look, he's like, I'm here. I'm still here. You let me stay over another one.
He gave you the radio point, and like you're not ready for your cues.
No, I'm not a radio guy.
All right,
Right.
well, next time.
I got a face for radio.
Next time.
That's true.
So do
no,
we.
no one likes to argue
We all
that.
got faces for radio. That's why we do radio.
Yeah. When I
Although
was a
now-
kid, I was like, Mom, what should I do? And she was like, I don't know, but you got a face for radio, son. I said, thanks, Mom.
Now we're
years later.
transitioning to TV stuff, and I don't know how it's going to look.
Man, every time we wind up on the TV, I'm always like,
I'm telling you, man. You need to shave that head and join the Nerd Thug world. It'd be very Nerd Thug of you to have a shaved head and the big beard.
I'm just gonna have everybody just censor me like out of it, like just the pixels.
Yeah.
Just pixel me out.
Yeah,
No, I mean I like my voice. Like just pixel
Debatable.
my face out of it.
that'd be good.
That'd be oh god, that would be a great bit.
All right, so we come back again with our boy Bmac, a.k.a. Brian McMeans. That's his real name. And with Space Cadets Gaming. And
Why are you giving out his real name?
Because he asked me to.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Maybe he didn't, but it's out there now. It's public access television.
As much as I'm all over Facebook,
Yeah.
people know.
That's
People-
fair.
people know.
You do like mix your things. Like, well, as I do share the Nerd Thug stuff, I don't like do Nerd Thug stuff under Corey DLG
No.
on there.
Everything under Corey DLG is political. So not a good follow.
It's like 60% political, 30% food stuff.
Yeah,
And that's
pretty accurate.
That's about all of it.
So Bmac, we've known you for a little while. You run the Space Cadets or own the Space Cadets gaming side of that arena there. What was it that got you into games just in the beginning? Like, what was the game that got you hooked?
The year was 1994.
All right, man. I was 10.
I was depending on when this was, I was either 10 or 11.
Yeah.
No, seriously, it was 94, and in my small town of London, Ohio.
Nice.
Hey, you're from another country.
No, see, I said Ohio.
Yeah, London.
Ohio.
Little comic shop opened up there in town called Pack Rat. They're still in business.
That's awesome.
They were
It's 94. That's like 25 years ago.
That's a solid run.
Yeah, they're a classic.
Yeah. And I got to hanging out with them. That's when, as shortly after Magic the Gathering came out.
Okay.
So I got hooked up into that. So started hanging out there with them and started playing, and then
Started learning spells.
and it just kind of continued from there. And then it really picked up again, like we were talking, I think in the last segment, a little bit about the Euro game explosion. Around 2004, 2005, was working at Safe Auto in Columbus, and some friends said, we're going to go down the lunchroom and play games. You want to come with? And then
Sure.
took off.
Man,
took off from
Magic
there.
the Gathering is the one game that I never, ever got into.
It was so cool when I was like 15, and when I now as a 30-year-old when I see it, I'm like I immediately just see the massive money pit it is.
Yeah.
Like now, when I was 15 and it wasn't my money, it was so cool to like buy like boxes of the booster packs and just open them all and try, oh man, finding stuff and trading for cards. And then now that I'm buying the stuff and I pay for everything, it's like,
Whoa.
how much for a 6-pack booster?
We talk about
I don't
this.
know
We talk
that.
about this a lot. It's expensive being a nerd.
It is.
It's super expensive.
And especially the games. The games are fun, but sometimes the games can be like you see it. It's like a $50 or $100 or $75 massive like a war game
Right.
of some kind, and you're like, this is a serious investment,
Right.
But they're a lot of fun. Like I don't want to bash gaming, especially not with you here. But
I know. I just saw my sales go down a little bit.
No, it's super fun. Growing up, I wasn't a
I
game
wasn't a board
player.
gamer either.
I
yeah.
was a video gamer, and I collected cards, baseball cards, or like the Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
It really wasn't until you introduced me to HeroClix that I ever played any kind of tabletop game.
And then it's just kind of opened up for us now, where it's like
oh, I'll try that. And then really with the Nerd Thug role play, where we're playing different games every week.
Right.
Now it's like, like Munchkins. Oh, I love this game.
yeah, I never would have played Munchkins.
And
without
Munchkins
that.
has been around almost the same amount of time, since 94. 95 was when the first
fun.
edition of Munchkin
That
was.
blows my
Munchkins.
mind. That blows my mind. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I love me some Munchkins.
It's
man.
been fun, but I think what makes it fun is the licensing stuff. Like, I don't think I would want to play
Right. No,
like
you're
a
right.
regular Munchkins. I would much rather play an X-Men or a Marvel, or I really want to get my hands on the Rick and Morty one.
Pick your poison.
Yep.
But like, I don't know that I would play like this is regular Munchkins.
Right. So growing up, did you read comics? Were you into that kind of stuff?
Absolutely.
What was your favorite comics growing up?
growing up, I'd say it was probably G.I. Joe and Transformers.
Yes.
I can tell you, G.I.
Love me
Joe,
some G.I. Joe, man.
G.I. Joe number 13 was the very first comic book that I purchased.
I love G.I. Joe.
This is the Larry Hama era?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Love me some G.I. Joe.
So what did I say coming back from Louisiana Comic-Con when I was looking through my X-Men that I buy? So I saw my whole collection when I started my little shop. Spogomics, may you rest in peace, you beautiful ship, you. And I sold my whole collection doing Spogomics. And so now as we go to conventions, I buy a couple of the old X-Men. I never had the old stuff. And so, but I love that old era, the 1980s to 1990s X-Men. So I've been kind of slowly building those up. And I read them on the ride back, and then I never open them again. So I was reading one of them, and I was telling Joey, I was like, this was like the golden era of comic books. Like this 80s to 90s. Like you grew up and collected comic books in like the greatest era of comics.
That's like was it the Bronze Age? The Bronze Age of comics?
No, it's the Silver Age. It's the Silver Age.
No. Silver Age ended in 70.
79. Yeah, you're right. But it's not quite modern yet. Like this is
It's like that tweener, because like the 80s is like Bronze Age, right?
Yeah. No. Bronze.
No, that they consider it. Maybe.
I think they call it the modern age already because Punisher was introduced in 80
something.
That would have been 81, 82. Because his first appearance was on a Spider-Man.
Right. Spider-Man's that yellow cover where he's got the crosshairs. That featured primarily in Coyote Ugly, for those of you who want to just completely cross pop culture up.
I don't think Coyote Ugly's pop culture.
Totally pop culture.
I love G.I. Joe.
Piper Paraboo was amazing.
That is single-handedly my favorite nerd entity. Like everything G.I. Joe related, I geek out for.
You do.
It's so funny. I'm going back. I actually bought a collection of the classic issues because I am working on collecting the original 155.
Right.
Oh, man.
And so I'm going back and rereading some of those old issues, and I'm reading it, and it's like, okay, you can totally tell when they introduced a new toy.
Yeah,
because it was
absolutely.
Like, hey, I'm Tripwire, and I'm here now. I'm part of the team. It's like,
and the whole issue focuses on how awesome Tripwire is.
No,
dude, those toys, those were the greatest toys ever.
They really were.
The G.I. Joes. Oh my goodness.
Especially because like they came with the coolest accessories.
It was like $5 back then.
And like the guy
I would
who
roll
had
coins. I would roll coins, and then me and my grandpa, we talked about this story last week, Cole.
Yeah.
We'd drive to Huntsville, I'd be riding on his lap, and then we'd get to Huntsville, and I'd unload all my coins for dollars, and we'd go straight to Walmart, and I'd come home with like 6 new G.I. Joes.
So, okay, I have a comment on that. You guys were talking about that last
go
week,
ahead.
and I wasn't here. We talked about what was like allowed back then and wasn't accepted. It was totally accepted, and it was completely allowed. Like kids in the back of pickup trucks, you could throw
absolutely.
You could put like 20 of them in here in Texas. You could have like 30. You could pack them in so tight that they couldn't fall out if they tried, and no one would even question.
It wasn't really till probably like mid 90s that stuff really started changing.
Right. All of a sudden they were like, stop drinking and driving and strap your babies in, and
wear a seatbelt.
Right. And then, for gosh sakes, use your stop signs and red lights, guys. Come on. And so then it was like
my mom
and stuff.
told me this story because we were talking about it. Like when I was a baby, I guess I had like cholera or something, and I'd cry a lot. So like when she would drive, she would hold me like on her shoulder and like pat my back to keep me calm, and just drive down the road. A little like Pontiac Grand Am, just going down. No one cared.
No one cared. No one cared back then. But
Cop
then
just
like,
waved. Oh, hey, Miss Kay, how are you?
Hey, the baby's crying again, huh?
Grandpa,
Good luck.
Thanks, Grandpa. Thanks for the propane.
Good luck with that terrible kid of yours. I'll be arresting him soon enough.
Everyone said that.
Everyone.
Look at me now.
Well, I mean, couple of warrants. But yeah, no, like it was allowed back then.
Yeah,
Totally was.
It totally was. So what else? What else was it that my favorite story about Bmac and games is the one where you guys went on the cruise?
How does everyone know this story?
You told me like 12 times.
I didn't.
I don't think I know
I think
this
12
story.
might be an exaggeration.
Just once, maybe twice.
So-
1, 2, 12.
It did involve your favorite game, Munchkin.
Yeah, it did.
And there were four of us playing. And Ian, our good buddy Ian, we were all at level 9, and he played a card that would allow him to go up to level 10. Now, normally you can't go up to level 10, but unless you're a cleric in this one particular instance. So he got to go to level 10. He's like, I win. And then the person sitting across from him said, well, you played this earlier that makes me a cleric, so then I also win. And then Catherine sitting on this side says, I have a race of a cleric, so I also win. I got nothing. I don't win. I was the only one that didn't win. And what's funny about that was we're on a cruise ship, so everything's bolted down. And I was like, I tried to table flip, and I couldn't table flip because it's bolted
So
down.
it's funny because they go on a cruise, was it a store cruise basically? Like a bunch of people from the store went, or
Yeah.
and they just took a bunch of games. You know, like when you're
Yeah.
you've been on a cruise, right?
No.
So when you're cruising around,
Not allowed in international waters.
True. So when you're
totally
cruising,
banned.
when you're cruising around in between stops, during the day, Most people were just at the pool getting hammered doing
Right.
weird stuff.
Hula hoop contests.
Yeah, it's not fun at all.
Count the
really.
tattoos.
It's really not. And they just got up on the deck and just like gamed like
Yeah,
all
we took
day.
over every day. We would go up and just take over the Lido deck on the back end of the ship there, and we had a D&D campaign. We played Munchkin. We played Boss Monster. We played all that. I mean, just rather than taking suitcases full of clothes, I'm not joking. We had the one guy took 2 full-on suitcases full of games, and that was his
Gamed
baggage
it up.
essentially.
But and having never been on a boat larger than the size of this table, they don't like get wet, like just moist from the air, like sea.
No, not
breeze.
really.
No,
Everything stays dry.
I mean,
nice.
you're high enough up that you don't.
And like he doesn't
get that.
roll around.
But there's like inside stuff. Like once you get out like on open water, it's pretty smooth. Mm-hmm. It's when you're like in the canal or you're coming out of the bay, that's when it starts getting choppy. But once you get out there,
It's really, really smooth.
You
Yeah,
can't
we'd
even
go
tell.
we'd go and hang out in the library. And
yeah, they have a
we played-
library.
They have a library on the
Yeah.
cruise ship.
Yeah, which actually had a couple of games
They do.
in it.
We went.
That
when we
seems
went,
highly inappropriate.
we'd go play Sorry.
Why is that inappropriate?
I
every
feel
couple
like
times.
a cruise ship should only have booze, food, or gambling related things.
They've got a gym. They've got a
See?
library.
That's a waste.
Candy store.
Okay, the candy store makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, I knew you'd like that.
Well, it's just another place to spend money. But like
Right,
a
it is.
library, like
Putt-putt golf.
see, that makes sense too. Like something
Slide.
to do. But a library, like I'd like to borrow a book and not hang out with anyone else on this giant boat.
Some people do.
Yeah, you get a book and you go to the back of the ship and hang
Yeah.
out. And
Yeah, it
You read
caters
by the
to
pool.
But it's
one
not called
demographic.
hanging out if you're reading by yourself.
Yeah, some people
Isn't it?
people go on cruises by themselves.
you uncultured swine.
I'm just saying. I don't know. I feel like if you're in a giant crowd of people and they're all having a good time and you're like, guys, chapter 4, keep it down.
Yes, keep it down, please.
I feel like that just.
The worst part about the cruise is when you're trying to hang out in like the hot tub and then all the little kids keep jumping in. That drove me crazy.
Well, yeah, you just hold one of them underwater long enough, the rest leave.
I don't know. Let's leave out of this segment real quick and let's come back to the weekly top 3. Bmac, thanks for hanging out
Thank
with
you.
us. Don't forget, Extra Life, November 4th, Space Cadets Gaming.
In Oak Ridge.
Nerd Thug Radio. Wow, wow, wow.